Howdy champs, my name is Mohit and people, today we'll talk about a lightbox alternative, and it's called FancyBox. It indeed is so fancy, it indeed is so empowered. In fact, before I talk a lot about it, I will straight away like to start off with the browser preview in Google Chrome. Excuse me. Alright, in my example I'm using 3 pictures. You could have used many more too. Alright, now these are the 3 pictures in questions. You can see the thumbs on the left hand side. Right, now to kick off the slideshow, you can click anywhere on the page, people, anywhere. You just don't need to click only on the these thumbs. I can click anywhere, and then I can just sit back and relax as the different pictures, the 3 pictures in my example, just scroll from left to right. The best part is I can also use the arrow keys, as I'm doing so now, to scroll through the pictures. I can even use the mouse scroll wheel. Right, I'm using the mouse scroll wheel now to browse through the different pictures, 3 in my example, and as I said, you could have used many more. Or you can just sit back and relax and watch it autoplay. And this autoplay can be quite easily set to off by a small adjustment to the code. Let me show that to you as well. Let me get back to Dreamweaver. This was done in Dreamweaver, and just one. See, the autoplay has been set to true. If I set it to false, let's take up a browser preview again after saving the changes to the file. Now again, let me click on the first image. See, the autoplay has been set off now. I can click on the left quadrant of the left pane to slide, to go to the previous image, or the right quadrant to the right part of the picture to advance to the next slide. You have this cross button out here to close the picture up, like so. Okay, click again to start, close, and you see there are 2 arrows out here which will let you know that you can advance or you can go back to the previous image. So all in all, an amazing FancyBox lightbox alternative, people. It's called FancyBox. See, again, I'm actually using the arrow keys on my keyboard, up and down. I can use them as left and right arrow keys too. Right, and as already talked about earlier, I can even use the mouse scroll wheel to advance to the next image. That's what is so fantastic about it. The good news is, if that is not enough, you can include YouTube videos and Vimeo videos. You can use you can Google Maps too, but that'll be in the next part. Some other tutorial, people, not this tutorial itself. I'll not club it with this tutorial. Right. So let's go to the FancyBox site, where you'll get all the assets that where you'll get the the FancyBox plugin. It's a plugin, it's a jQuery plugin, people. You can grab it from the FancyBox website. The URL is fancyapps.com/FancyBox. Right, I've just shown you the tip of the iceberg. There's so much more that you can actually do. This one gives you a fair idea of what FancyBox can actually do, but there's so much more to it. You can I would urge you to go to the website, explore the different options that I've talked about in this tutorial. I'm getting you started, people, into something wonderful. Alright, the first thing that you would need to do is you need to obviously check the license out and download the project. You need to go out here and download the project. You see, FancyBox is free to use as long as you're doing it for personal use on non-profit website projects. But if you want to use FancyBox for commercial websites, you need to pay a small fee. You can check that out yourself. This is showing in Indian rupees, the local currency. You can just switch over to your that's $19, $19 in US. Switch to your country and check it out. All right. Let me also bring up my local site folder. You see, this is my local site folder. This is the HTML document. These are the 3 pictures in question, people. And this is the FancyBox assets that I would need. The plugin basically that I would need for the FancyBox to function. What I've done is I've actually downloaded it from the website. I've extracted it and I've just renamed the outermost folder to FV. Although they had a long big name, I've just renamed it to FV. And these were the assets that you will find inside that folder: a demo, a lib, a source, and a few more. All right. You see, I would need all the files that are present inside. I would need all that. I would need just a handful of them. And I'm going to show you how to use, get those handful. You're just going to link a few files from the plugin, the FancyBox plugin. Only a few files, people. And it's so very easy to create. Trust me on that. What I'm going to do is I'm going to restart the project from the very beginning, from scratch, so that you'll get a very good idea how this can be so very easily done. It's so very easy, people. Trust me on that. Just follow me along and you'll find that it's so very easy. Righto. Let me get back to Dreamweaver. I'm going to demolish about 70-80% of the project so that I can show it to you all over again. All right. In fact, I'm going to remove everything that is inside the body of the document. Whatever goes inside the opening and the closing body tags, people, is what is visible on the web page. And I'm also going to demolish everything out here. Okay, so you can notice that I'm actually using opening and close. I'm using HTML5 doc type. The title has been set to FancyBox. It's a lightbox alternative. What is lightbox? It's quite similar to the way FancyBox is. Although I thought this was a lot better, more empowered. Excuse me. Right. I have the opening and the closing style tags out here so that I can write my internal or embedded rules out here. Okay, first things first, let me tackle the HTML. Let me be inside the body of the document. Let me start inserting the images one by one. So let's see if I can actually, bring in all 3 together. I can't actually. Not this way, at least. The first picture goes in. I'm skipping the alternate text. You shouldn't. On a real website, people. Okay. Now, once you get the first picture, and you can notice that the size is 800 by 500. I would want to use this image as a thumb. So I'm going to drop in the width. I'm going to click out here where it says width. I'm going to go down out here in the properties panel. I'm going to drop the width to a 300. I'm going to hit enter. It scales down to 300 by 190 because I'm going to use it as a thumb where you need to click. Okay. Similarly, let me hit enter, get in the second image. Skip the alternate text. You shouldn't if you're working on a real website. Scale down to 300 by 171. I automatically use the width 300 px, scale down the height to keep the aspect ratio to 171. Let me get in the third image. Why am I scaling down? Because I'm going to use it as a thumb. Insert the image, the third image, skip the alternate text. For now, 300 width, and automatically scales down the height to 190. Okay, at this point, let me save the document up, take up a preview in Google Chrome. Well, nothing much at all. Just we just have 3 different pictures, basically scaled down, so that the width is a 300. All right, very good. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to wrap all these 3 pictures inside a div. So I'm going to use Zen coding code assist plugin to code out real fast. So hash and my gallery. and press Control plus comma. You see what happens? It expands itself. I'm using Zen coding. It's a plugin, people. You can get it for Dreamweaver. You can just Google it up, get the plugin to code out real fast. Just the way I've actually done. So let me cut this from out here and paste it out here. So what I've really done is I've encapsulated those three pictures inside a div which has an ID of my gallery. All right. So I'm going to click out here where it says my gallery. I'm going to click on this plus button, and I'm going to go out here. I'm going to say my gallery space and img. Basically, I'm going to target images inside my gallery div, and I'm going to set the contextual selector to compound. Obviously, it's a compound rule, people. So images inside my gallery ID. That's a compound rule. I'm going to save the files inside the document itself, basically creating an internal or embedded rules. I'm going to say OK. Let me define the rules, people. Let me set a margin of to space out the basically the the different pictures of 20 px all around. And let me go to the block category. I'm going to set a display of block. I would want my pictures to be top bottom, not left and right. So changing the inline to a block. The intrinsic behavior, the inbuilt behavior of an image is to be an inline element, basically stand left and right. I'm turning it to block. It will force it to be top and bottom. Alrighty, at the same time, let me go to the border category. I'm going to make sure that it's a ridge of 5px and it's white in color. And let's say OK. At this point, let me save the document up and take up a browser preview. You can actually notice the three pictures now with a rich 5px border. Alrighty, very cool. Let me go back to Dreamweaver. Let me go to modify. Let me go to page properties. Let me then set the background color of my document to a hash. Let's say 777, and let's say OK. At this point, let me save the document up, take up a browser preview, and this is the way things look like right now. Border is looking really cool. Wonderful. Alrighto. Let me get back to my Dreamweaver document and advance further. Now, next up, people, what I'm going to do is I'm going to click on anywhere where the first thumb is, anywhere in line number 22. All right, I'm going to link this small thumb to the original bigger image. And how I'm going to do that? See, this is the thumb. SRC is the thumb. I'm going to go to the link. I'm going to link it with the original size of the image. I'm going to go out here, browse for the original image, which is this image. I'm going to say OK. Now this original image, this is a thumb, people. This one, SRC is a thumb. Link is the original image. Why is it a thumb? Because I had scaled down the width and the height, if you remember. So I'm linking it up with the original bigger image, like this. Alrighty. Similarly, I'm going to do with the second thumb, basically the original image which has been scaled down, 300, 171, as you can see out here. Let me link it up with the with the bigger image, the original bigger image, and likewise with the I'm going to click anywhere out here in line number 23, and I'm going to link it up with the original bigger image which has not been scaled down. At this point, let me just take up a preview in Google Chrome. So if I click out here, you can see that it takes me to the original bigger image, original bigger image, original bigger image. Very cool. Right now, but the you see the lightbox gallery hasn't kicked in yet. I'm going to do that now. Let me be in the code view so you can actually see the code clearly for a minute. So we have the div with an ID of gallery, my gallery that is. Then we have those three pictures. The small thumbs linked to the original bigger image. So you have the A anchor tag, href. This is the thumb, and this is the original bigger image. Rather, this is the thumb, and this is the original bigger image. Very cool. Okay, next up, people, what I'm going to do is I'm going to link it up with the plugin. You see, this is my local site folder, and this is the plugin, people. These are the the requisite files that make the this is the FancyBox plugin. that are downloaded, and all the requisite files are inside out here. And as I told you earlier, that I'm going to link up with certain files only that are actually required for the plugin to function. Let's do that then. Okay, so just after the closing style tag, people, which has an opening style tag out here with the type attribute set to text CSS, I'm going to start linking it up with the required JavaScript file. So the first thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to link it up with the main jQuery file, the backbone that makes everything fire. You know, this is the first thing that you need to do. Link up with the latest jQuery library. So script, then we have the type attribute going, which is going to be equal to text JavaScript, and then src, which I'm going to browse and get inside the FancyBox folder. Then I'm going to go to the lib folder or the library folder, and then this is the latest jQuery version 1.10.1 minified version, people. You can even get it from off the internet, people. You can download and you can link it up yourself, or you can use it as a CDN, content delivery network too. But in my example, I'm just going to link it up this way. So 1.10.1 minify, the latest jQuery version. I'm going to say OK. Close it like this. So we have the opening and the closing script tags out here. Okay, this was the first thing to do. Second, again, I'm going to use the script tag, then type, set to your right, text JavaScript, again src, and then I'm going to browse for the mouse wheel pack, people. This is going to make the mouse wheel work. If you remember, I'd actually mouse wheeled to go through the different images one by one. So I'm going to link it up with this file. I'm going to close the script tag out here. Let me hit enter. This time I'm going to use the link tag because I'm going to link to a CSS file. So link, then we have the href attribute to point to the required CSS file. Let me click out here, go to the site root and get back to FB, then get inside source, and the file that I'm looking for is jQuery FancyBox CSS. This is the one, people. This is the way I'm going to link it up. Then we have the relationship attribute going, where you need to say that it's a style sheet. That's all. Okay, and then we close the link tag up. Next, people, I'm going to type script again, type text JavaScript as always, and then we have src. Let's browse, and this time, people, make sure that you link it up with jQuery FancyBox pack, jQuery FancyBox pack, and let's say OK. Close the script tag up like this. Okay, the linking of this document with the external, externally lying plugin is actually complete in a way. At this point, let me just save the document up and take up a browser preview. Still, it doesn't work. There's a small bit of code that I need to write. Only after that can I, see the FancyBox plugin in action. So let's do that. So I'm going to say script type text JavaScript as always. Let me close the tag up like this, and let me write some internal jQuery. Okay, I'm going to say when the document is actually ready, when the DOM has initialized and the elements are accessible, when the elements are actually ready to be manipulated, this is the way you're going to check. So document, through the document.ready handler, we check if the DOM has initialized or the elements are actually accessible. When they are, I would want to target what? Target the class FancyBox. Why am I doing that? It's going to become very clear very soon. Class FancyBox. I want you to target the class FancyBox and apply on it a function called FancyBox. It's an inbuilt function. Basically, the plugin will fire now. FancyBox parent semicolon. That's all that you need to do. Now we are actually ready, and we can see the gallery in action. But notice out here it clearly says that it's going to target the class FancyBox. So we need to give these anchor tags the class of FancyBox before we can see the gallery in action. So just space out, people, and apply a class of FancyBox to each and every link, like this. Next up out here, I'm just gonna copy this bit, paste this bit out here like this, and out here like this. Sorry, Control C and Control V to paste it. Okay, at this point let me save the document up and let's see the changes. Now see what has happened. When I click on the first picture, you see that it opens up in FancyBox. And FancyBox is in action, but it still isn't a gallery. You get the option to close it like this, you see, from the right top corner, like so. Okay, but they're not linked together. All these three pictures are not linked together. They are separate gallery by themselves. One, it just blows up, just zooms up. That's all that is happening right now. I would want to club them. I would want to have a relationship among them, and you can do so using the relationship attribute, rel attribute, people. Very simple. So after the class, just have rel going like this, and you can give it any name of your choice, people. I'm going with gallery. You decide your name. Okay, just create a relationship between these three images. Okay, to have multiple galleries going, people, decide on two different names then. Okay, so you can have twin galleries going if you have so many different pictures. I'm using just one single name for this, for my rel attribute, the relationship attribute. Now this is going to link this is going to bring all the three pictures into one single gallery. Let's see that in action. Let me press F12 at this point to save and view in Google Chrome. All right, very good. So people notice that now it's actually a gallery. I can click out here anywhere in the right quadrant to advance, or in the left quadrant to go back to the previous image. But I can use the top arrow key, bottom arrow keys, left arrow keys on my keyboard, or the right arrow keys on my keyboard, right, to advance or go to the previous picture, or simply use the, if you remember, I had linked to the mouse scroll wheel.js file, and I can just scroll through the different images like so by using the mouse up and down scrolling. All right, and in the end, let me show you how to use the Autoplay function. So all you need to do is just get inside the brackets out here in line number 24. All right, and set the Autoplay additional option parameter on. So insert curly braces like so, people, and say Autoplay : true. That's it. That's all that you need to do. At this point, let me save the document up and take up a preview. Let me click anywhere now to launch the gallery, and hopefully it should automatically go to the next picture, which it actually does. Right. I also think you can control the speed of this advance. Let me just for a minute go back to the website FancyBox, and there are so many options out here which I haven't used. One of them is the speed option that I'm going to use now. Autoplay, I've used the play speed. Yes, it's defaulting to 300. Let me use this additional option parameter. Let me bring it in. Dreamweaver. The default is 3000 people. So I'm gonna comma separate it like this and say play speed : and How about a 5,000 out here? I think yep, I'm actually done. So this should slow down the speed. So F12 to take up a browser preview. Click anywhere. Let's see if the time. Yes, quite clearly from 3 seconds it has increased to 5 seconds. In some other tutorial, people, I'm going to show you how to use YouTube videos, Vimeo videos, and Google Maps too. Right? So I hope you found this bit quite informative, quite useful. You enjoyed the tutorial. You'll thumb the video up. You'll subscribe if you still haven't. And I'll also hope that you'll keep coming back for more and more tutorials from me. You have a good day. Bye-bye. Peace.